Yeah, Sandra, we just got this in literally 2 minutes ago, but Fox News can confirm that Iran's supreme leader, the Ayatollah Khamenei, is dead following Israeli strikes against his compound and location earlier today.
Less than 24 hours.
Israeli official confirming this news. Earlier tonight, Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu describing the strikes not only against the supreme leader, but against much of the Iranian leadership. We know the breakdown in strikes focused on leadership for the Israelis and military targets initially for the Americans, and has since expanded as this campaign is expected to continue in the days and possibly even weeks ahead. As we're looking at the current situation across the region, we're also gathering new information on what the Israelis have been doing against Iran. We are told from a military official that the largest Israeli Air Force sortie against any country in the world was conducted this morning with 200 Israeli fighter jets targeting 500 different locations, dropping hundreds of munitions
on a
variety of different targets inside of Iran. The Israelis, while they were going after leadership, were also looking to neutralize the incoming ballistic missile fire that has targeted their country throughout the day. Sirens sounded across
and the Israeli military have one of the best programs for the interceptor missiles.
Israel throughout the afternoon, sending millions of people into bomb shelters. But again, the takeaway here, the Israelis have killed Iran's supreme leader. That is being confirmed to Fox News by a senior Israeli official. John, Sandra?
Okay, so...
All right, this is insane because we heard about this. Well, I heard about this about 2 a.m., 2 in the morning last night. And in less than 24 hours, maybe about 12, 14, not even 16 hours later, he's gone. The leader's gone. They already took him out. So when these things happen, these things are going to happen fast. When it happened in Venezuela, we went in there. We took him out in the middle of the night, midnight hammer. Nobody knew anything. We were in and out. Like when the U.S. get involved in these kind of disputes, we're in there and we're out in the thick of the night.
Trey, you're obviously breaking that news for us just now. We'll be looking for reaction, obviously, on the ground in Iran and all over the Middle East region.
By CENTCOM earlier today.
And this is just showing some of what some of our fighter jets were doing, all the missiles coming out.
Full force of the United States in action during Operation Epic Fury that has since made national and international headlines, as you can imagine, right here on Live Now from Fox.
January Maduro, February El Mencho in Mexico, and now Iran.
Right, everyone. Now let's show you just a little bit more reporting from Fox News' Trey Yixt.
You can see here the site of a direct impact in Tel Aviv. First responders are currently digging through the debris of the building behind me. They just pulled 2 civilians out. There were a number of injuries at this location, but the ongoing ballistic missile fire is making it incredibly difficult for these first responders.
Let me pause it right here to talk to you guys really quick. For all of us here living in the United States, we have to be grateful and understand how blessed we are to have such a powerful military. You know, I know we're all here. We're always like, you know, no new wars. We kind of voted for no new wars. I'm not sure if this is even technically considered a war yet. I know there's a lot of headlines and clickbait saying, you know, new wars, but this technically, we're not sure if, like, we can't really consider it a new war yet. But so what I'm trying to say is here in the U.S., if you live here in the U.S., you got to be grateful. We live in the best country, the most powerful country. We have the most powerful military in the world. And that allows us to enjoy, you know, this lifestyle that we live, this freedom, this safety. So for all the people here in the U.S. that are saying, you know, they hate this country, you know, I mean, go somewhere else and try it out. Do you want to live in fear like these people, like the people in Venezuela, the people in Mexico, anywhere with a dictatorship? You know, I know we like to call Trump a dictator, but, you know, there are plenty of other places that have real dictators where, you know, you can't walk around freely. You can't speak freely. You can't do what you want to do. Or there'll be like, you know, real, you know, circumstances that you got to deal with. Real consequences, I should say. You know, we have people in the streets of Mexico just dying every day. You have people, you know, in Iran dying every day. You know, if you are in the U.S., you know, please be grateful. You are in the best country in the world.
Look for survivors, because every time the siren goes off, they have to rush into
a
nearby shelter and get underground. But you see here the massive amount of destruction to this building, a residential block and they are bringing dogs in. There are still firefighters on the scene putting out the blaze inside the building.
I can't imagine this happening in my backyard.
And they're using megaphones to call out to see if there are any survivors still trapped under the debris. This is the most significant impact since the war erupted early this morning with the Israeli strikes and American strikes against Iran, where we can confirm Iran's supreme leader, the Ayatollah Khamenei, was killed along with 40 top leaders from the Islamic regime.
Holy.
Development that will likely draw.
I want to show you guys this just so you can see the high-tech interceptor missiles that Israel is using right now.
Significant Iranian fire toward major population centers, more than we have seen so far. Remember, the Iranians now, their supreme leader, the man in charge of their
And before you even start, this is one of the benefits, you know, that our alliance with Israel gives us, because they have one of the best cyber security, you know, programs in the world. They have a very strong army. They may not be the biggest army, but they have a strong army. You know, they strategize very well. Their military works in tandem with the U.S. very well. So that's a pretty decent relationship right there.
Pan over here. We've
now
got,
look at this. Look at this.
More interceptors coming off and more fire coming in here. So just stay with us here, John.
Imagine looking out of your back door, your front door, your balcony, and this is what you see.
Coming off. There's a bunch of them here. So just take a little wide shot. Yeah, we got more coming off. Just put me here so I can talk here. And you're going to see behind us, we got to move.
Yeah, that's crazy. Look at this.
Incoming fire right now toward Tel Aviv.
So we know a lot of people, you know, may have mixed feelings, you know, about Israel and our relationship and what we do in the Middle East. But just like, you know, in Venezuela, when we took out Maduro, there were people that had mixed feelings, you know. They're like, oh, we shouldn't be getting involved. We shouldn't be doing this. We shouldn't be doing that. And even in Mexico as well. But guess what always happens whenever we do get involved and we do take out one of these leaders, these cartel leaders, these dictators. The people of that place rejoice and they celebrate, just like this.
Celebration in the streets of LA as word spread that Iran's supreme leader was killed in the attack. More than 200,000 Iranians live in California. Many fled the regime that ruled there for 47 years, and they welcome change.
United States and Israel, they are there to change the regime.
Events reached a tipping point after the Iranian crackdown on protesters last month that killed thousands. Iranians here demanded the U.S. government take military action.
We want to say thank you to President Trump. This is the only person to support us in the last 50 years. Every single people in Iran knew that the only way that this regime is going to go away is that to attack them.
For the first time in their lives, many here are expressing optimism for a new life in Iran. Now you're expecting regime change.
Yes.
And hopeful about it. You've got a smile on your face.
Yes, I do.
Even though your friends and family may be in danger.
Yes, you know, to have no choice.
Mohammed.
And he's absolutely correct. You know, you have no choice. Sometimes not even sometimes, pretty much almost always, the only way to combat these, you know, deadly regimes, terrorist regimes, these cartels, is you just got to go in there and take them out. You know, there are going to be casualties, but if we don't, there are going to be even more casualties. So we really have to get in there, and you know, we got to do what we got to do. This is Trump. This is the United States. You know, we're helping out our allies. We're taking out dictators. You know, we're helping all these countries out, and we can see that these citizens or these people that come from these other countries, you know, they all rejoice, they all celebrate, and they're all happy because, you know, we're doing something really good over there. And, you know, we know there's been a lot of protests in Iran right now. So, you know, hopefully, you know, after this, there can be some regime change and then the citizens can, you know, take back their country, you know. Let me know what you guys think, okay, in the comments.